Kia ora Year 9. This is the first of two videos on how to add and subtract terms in an algebraic expression. And what we're going to be talking about today is how to collect like terms. So I'm going to work through 5 examples, and what we're interested in is whether we can think of these things as the same type of thing. And if they are, we call them like terms and we can group them together. Okay, so we've got x and another x and another x. So those x's are all exactly the same number, we just don't know what it is, so we've got 3 of them. So when we're learning how to do 3 lots of something, back in year 2 or 3, we write 3 times x. Algebra is just the same, only we don't need that times sign, so we write it as 3x. In number 2, we've got 7 lots of a, take away a. Now, when you're starting out in algebra, it can take a bit of getting used to the fact that we don't write in a number 1 in there. So there's no 1 in there, it's just 7a, take away a. But that leaves us with 6 lots of a. Right, what about number 3? Well, I've got 5 lots of b and 3 more lots of b. So that gives me 8b, and then I'm going to take away 17b. So if I'm thinking about how many I've got, well, I started with, if here's 0, I started with 5, I added on 3, that gave me 8, and now I'm taking away 17. So that gets me back to negative 9. So altogether, I've got negative 9b. Now notice that when I did that, without really talking about it, I was using the BEDMAS rules that we looked at earlier with number. And we're going to see that they follow through beautifully to algebra as well. Okay, on to the last 2 examples on the next slide. Okay, so this time we've got several different types of things. Let's just go through it slowly. I've got 4 lots of B and 3 lots of C. So the B's and the C's are different. I can't put them together. It's like apples and oranges. Now here I come with another, taking away 6b. So we're going to be linking those. And next I've got a plus 2. So that's a third type of thing in here. I've got B's, C's, and now I've got ordinary old numbers. And we call those constant terms when we're doing algebra. And lastly I've got take away 50c. So in my answer I'm going to have some B's, some C's, and some constants. So I've got 4b, take away 6b, that leaves me with negative 2b. Next I've got 3c, take away 50c, so that's minus 47c, and then I've got plus 2. Right, now let's have a look at number 5. We need to decide how many different types of things we've got in here. This is a really common source of confusion. Let's talk about what A times B means. Well, we know that 2B means 2 lots of B. And that's the same as B lots of 2 things. So I could draw it like this. 2 lots of B. Or I could draw it as B lots of 2 things. And we know that there's no issue with writing 2 times B or B times 2, so the order doesn't matter. The convention in algebra is always that we write the number before we write the letter, so we never write B2. When we've got AB, this is the same as A times B. And when I've got B times A, this is the same as B times A, which is exactly the same as A times B. So when you first look at example 5, you can be tempted to think that the AB and the BA are not like terms, but they are. So we can put them together. So I'm going to erase the mess underneath now, and we will use that space to collect up our like terms. So that's all gone. Right, so let's look again at what goes together and what doesn't. So I've got AB, and that's exactly the same kind of thing as BA, right? Because this is A times B, B times A. They're no different, they're just written in a different order. And here comes another AB. But what about these things at the end? Well, this is just an A, 1A, and this is 3A. So we know that we can put these together, and we can put all of these together. So that gives me 3 lots of AB plus 4 lots of A, and that's my final answer. So I can't now go on and combine the ABs and the A's. They are not like terms because the letters are not matching up exactly. But what I hope you've learned from this example is that the order in which we multiply things doesn't matter whether you're working in algebra or with numbers. Okay, so that's a very short introduction to like terms. There are lots of examples of that in the textbook and in Mathletics. Thanks for watching.